Well, today we are doing Maya's Garden. This is from Paper Rose in Australia. And we have a new designer joining us, Kathy Thompson. And here is one of her cards. This is an easel card. How pretty, whoops, how pretty is that? Will you please come play with us? Well, let me tell you first about the Maya's Garden. And these are 6x6 papers. There are 18. They are double-sided, and you're going to get 3 each of 12 designs. So I'll show you as we move on. The die cuts come in a pad like this. There are 4 sheets, and they each have about 10 or 11, so you can see, and they're just going to pop right out, and so it works really nicely. You can see the colors are going to work beautifully. So let me tuck these aside and bring in the first card, and this is it. Now, Kathy has used our 5 by 6.5 inch cards, and you can see there are several layers on the front there. So let me show you what she used. So the stripe is the first one. By the way, there are directions down below and also the list of materials that she used. So she has first cut this piece, and then she did something kind of unusual, I thought. This is another sheet, and she kind of cut just right around the edge of this one and then the left edge of the blue, and then just glued them to the back of the stripe. So that worked nicely. And she matted that on one of our mirror cardstocks, and let me show you. It's this one, and in fact you can see the camera, the lights. There I am, hello. And she has matted it on there. Isn't that gorgeous? It just gives a really beautiful shine, as you would expect. Now, in many of these, she needed a solid color, and she found that the Seafoam and Pearls cardstock, the solid cardstock, gave her the colors that she needed. And you can see that in the second mat that she did on the front of the card. So all of that worked quite nicely. Now, going into what else she did on the front, using our 4-inch paper doilies. They are so good to use, and I thought it was really fun as she layered those die cuts with foam tape. So you can see the green sprigs are kind of at the bottom, and then the flowers are just layered on top. She did use the, the crepe ribbons, and these are actually found in all of the collections, but this is a collection of just crepe, and it works so beautifully because you're going to get bows that won't smash. You can just do that. You can go through the mail, and it's going to look beautiful. So that works very nicely. Now, the birthday wishes, well, that comes from the Birthday Dazzles, and this has several colors. The brown is what she has used here. Isn't that pretty? Oh, one thing I should tell you is that when you're doing the doily, the center of the doily is solid, and that's the area that you want to glue down. Don't worry about that ruffled edge because you don't want to get the glue, kind of seeping through. So just glue that center part, and that will work beautifully for you. How pretty, huh? Now, on the inside, she used that same sheet that I talked to you about, and she did trim it down. So again, this is the 5-inch card. And she did use an oval cutting die, and she's going to use it again. So I just want to tell you that. So it's got the oval and the scalloped, and she did die cut this out of that mirror cardstock. And then she did another one out of one of the papers, so you can see that. So the scallop is on the inside, and the rounded one is on the outside. Kind of a little different way to do it, and I thought that was fun. And then she used the card inside-outside dazzle, so you can really see these nicely. I've peeled them off so you can see the words, and may all your wishes come true. So that worked beautifully. And then this is another of the die cuts, just foam taped, and just a knotted ribbon down at the bottom. So that worked nicely. Okay, that's her first. Now, on her second one, you can see on the front of it, she has, well, let's see, let me show you the paper. Here it is. Now, these are double-sided, and they are a nice weight of cardstock. And you can see that with this one, she just went from the left side over and then trimmed it down. And you can see the difference between what she did on the card and this. And how she got that was, of course, ink pads. And she used the spearmint ink ink pad with the blender brush, put this on craft mat, and then just dipped into the ink and did the edging around it. And it just does such a lovely effect. I was surprised that spearmint is what worked for her. I was kind of thinking she'd need to go into a blue, but she didn't. Now she did do another double matting like she did on the first card. And this one is using the rich gold from Hunky Dory, the mirror cardstock. And it, again, it just creates a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful look. And the With Deepest Sympathy, that comes from our Sympathy Dazzles. And again, you get multiple colors. And With Deepest Sympathy is right there in black. And she also added a couple of dazzles. Now she added the butterflies, and I'm hoping you can see that. Yeah, there we go, we're getting closer right here. These are the silver pearl butterflies, and it's going to look like this on the sheet. You're going to get, oh, tons, just tons. And it's pretty because it has the, although it's silver pearl, it has the gold foiling on the edge. Now, in the center of those flowers, can you see that flash? Those are the gold mirror dazzles, okay? And so those are just placed. Now, for the inside of the card, she really wanted a soft look. And I thought this was really interesting, and I'm hoping you can see it. Can we get in really close, Jeanette? Because there is a vellum here, and I'm going to lift it a little bit. So it's just a really nice look. This is the swirl vellum, and I'll show it to you separately. So she cut it down to fit inside her card, so just about 4 7/8 by 6.5. And then she simply put a bit of glue on the left-hand edge. It's going to get covered up with those die cuts, and that way you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to glue the whole piece down. Just that much is going to keep it. Then after you put your dazzles, may you find peace and comfort, you can put a little bit of glue under here, and that will hold it down. So if that bothers you. Again, the butterflies are going like this. I like that streaming up. And then the mirror jewel dazzles are going in the center there. Right, and there's 2 of the die cuts right there. One thing I wanted to note for you is that, like, may you find peace and comfort. The same thing is with Deepest Sympathy. They are in one unit, one block of text. You can snip them apart if you want to use them separately. That's certainly an option. I just want to make sure that you knew that you could do that. So beautifully done. Okay, now here's that easel card that I showed you in the beginning. And I have to tell you, I've not seen a card like this before. Well, not quite exactly like this. Now, she has trimmed her 5 by 6.5 inch card down to being 5 inches square. And then she scored and folded the front sheet in half, parallel to the score line, okay? So you've got 2 of them. And that's going to enable this to be an easel. Now, she's going to use some of the things multiple times, and that rich gold mirror cardstock is going to be one of those, as you can see. So let me show you. She took the stripe. Now, again, you get 3 of each of them. So she took this and cut it to fit in the bottom panel, matted it on the Miri, and glued it in place. Then she took this one. Isn't that interesting how different it looks? And she turned it, first of all, she cut a square. And then, okay, so pretend that this is the square. And then she went to the bottom point and measured 3/4 of an inch on each side, and then drew a line and cut across that line. That way she's got the flat part that she needs to make this stand up, okay? She also did the spearmint ink pad along the edges, so that's pretty. And then she glued the bottom of this diamond to the bottom of her card front, okay? That works perfectly. Now, to finish embellishing it, she went with our paper flowers, and this is the Carolina Sunshine flowers, and they do have a little jewel in them. And she's got 3 of them. She's just placed within the other flowers. She went back to those silver pearl butterfly dazzles and put them there. Then she also went into our foiled butterflies. Now we have these in several different, we have them in black and we have them in jewel colors, but she used the foiled ones. Now these are die cut. I want to tell you something, and when you pop them out, in order to get this dimension that you're seeing right here, all you do is fold on each side of the body. Simply fold it. Then put a little piece of the 1/4 inch extra sticky tape underneath the body, attach it to your card, and it's going to stay like this. And even when you mail it, it's going to stay, it'll pop back up. Works very, very nicely. Okay, so that's the front of our card. Then on the inside of our card, she's got a couple of other things going on. Again, another one of the papers trimmed down, inked with spearmint, and then matted on the rich gold. Isn't that pretty? Then she also did the same greeting, or the same embellishments that she did on the front. So that's the sunrise. Is it sunshine? Sunshine or sunrise? It is sunshine. Sunshine flowers, the pearl butterflies. The lots of hugs comes from We're Together Dazzles. Now these are in a long script, and then they're also done stacked. Stacked is this way, and they come in multiple colors in that pack. So she put it right down here. She wanted to leave room for this embellishment because, as you know, when you have an easel, you need to have something to hold that easel up. So she took these die cuts, matted them on the rich gold, and then layered them. So obviously these two are have one layer of foam tape. This one has a couple of layers. And there's another sunshine flower. Now this time, this is kind of maybe the first time I've seen it, she has added something in this panel. And this is obviously one of the papers matted on the rich gold. Sending Smiles is another dazzle set. And it too comes in lots of different colors. Very good for when you just want to say, hi, I'm thinking of you, just checking in. Sending Smiles is a really nice way to make that effort. A little bit of a butterfly dazzle, and that finishes this card. So I just want to make sure that you can see it standing up like that. And I thought having that diamond was really nice to kind of cut it off, and then it will fit in your envelope, so that will work nicely. Okay, Kathy did 5 cards, so let me show you the next 2. Now, obviously, this is a gatefold card, and you get that by laying your card out flat and then bringing the 2 edges in to meet at the center, not to overlap, but just to meet. And then you want to score that, you want to fold them, you want to use your bone folder to really make those nice and tight. Now, for the front of her card, she used this piece of paper, you can probably tell, and it is cut in 2 pieces. She did mat it again on that, here we go, the same. And you know, when you're doing a set like this, you do kind of end up using the same colors and the same materials for many cards. So this is also matted on the Seafoam and Pearls cardstock. Now here she has used the thin line dazzles, and she's gone all the way around just on the Seafoam color, that teal color, very pretty. Here we have another of the die cuts, just kind of popping, and notice it's going outside of the that piece that was cut right here, and I like breaking those rules. I guess Kathy does too. Missing You is part of the We're Together. And that flutter of hearts going up, I think is just really nice. I've seen that done with butterflies, but I haven't seen it done with hearts, so that's neat. The hearts and the flowers are part of the We're Together dazzles, so they're going to be right in that same package. Then opening this up, she elected to put a paper on each of the panels on the inside too, matted them on the Seafoam and Pearls, and also add the thin line dazzles around them. I think you can see that. Then there are 3 of the die cuts. So you can see the die cuts are very versatile, and they do a really nice job. This is obviously another paper that has been matted on the Seafoam. edged with the straight line dazzles. You see the consistency. Now here is that other use of our oval cutting dies. So she has cut these both out of the seafoam and pearls, the light color out of the oval, the scalloped out of a darker. She glued the oval or the scallop down and then foam taped the oval. My Friend, that's also out of the We're Together, and 2 of the die cuts, and then she added those here we go, these mirror jewel, gold jewel card dazzles, blah blah blah. Okay. And there's the thin line dazzles that she used. Okay, so you can get them in one sheet or you can get them in a package with multiple colors. So choice is yours. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now her last card, I said, well, what did you use here? She confessed that she used the bits of scraps that she used in creating all the other cards. So I thought that was interesting. Now, if you want to duplicate this, you'll be cutting pieces, a 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch, maybe one of them 1 inch. She did place all of them on the Gold Mary. You probably want to cut that Gold Mary first to fit on your card, and then simply glued those papers down. Now, she did go back to the crepe ribbon, and she stretched them across, you can see, at different angles, and then glued the ends to the back of the Gold Mary, then put that on front of her card. Now you can see that many of the things that she used earlier, except these are part of the die cuts. You just hadn't seen those before. There's more of the die cuts. She's got one or several of them in this cluster. More of the sunshine flowers, you can see. And there's another butterfly done exactly the same way. On the inside of this card, she took just one piece of the seafoam and pearls, and then these are pieces from that striped paper. There you go. So she simply allowed the white edge to show. So she glued them down and trimmed, I guess she trimmed them first at an angle and glued them to all coming from that lower left-hand corner. This die cut was foam taped. You can see the mirror dazzles. You can see the butterflies, and the Just Because also comes from the We're Together, I believe. So all of that. So very different look. Okay, good for you, Kathy. Well done. So this is I think this is our first, perhaps, Paper Rose collection, the 6x6 papers. This is Maya's Garden and the Maya Garden die cuts. One other thing, the owner of Paper Rose is just really a sweetheart, and I really like her, and it was fun to visit with her at the trade show. So there we go, made in Australia, brought to you from Paper Wishes. Now, there is a money saver, you know. It's going to be over on the right-hand side. And I did add blank cards and envelopes to just kind of round this out. And there's also, as I said, directions, and everything that Kathy has used is down below. If you're watching us on YouTube, please give us a comment. Hope you'll subscribe, hope you'll like us, and then head on over to paperwishes.com. Take advantage of the money saver if you like, and this fun collection, and really very spring, summer colors, just beautifully done. I want to thank Kathy for doing these on very short deadline. Thank you, lady. And we'll be seeing more of Kathy's work, and I want to thank you especially for being part of the Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.